This is on the Real Woman Show.
Make sure I see somebody smiling. Even when I need to share my pain, I need to let them smile, and my pain vanishes within a minute. I don't want to say much, but I want to tell somebody, a woman listening to me, empower yourself. Woman, pick yourself up, and no matter what you've done in the past, that is what the Real Woman in Me Show I am here. I want to encourage you that whoever you are, whatever you've done, wherever you've coming from, whatever you, I don't care about your past, because
this is on the Real Woman in Me Show. This is on the Real Woman in Me Show.
Jame kwa jiha menya bidi amamu frei ojejeje nkrofu sika saa wobre wa adwamambo sika odi akotata ameka se buru nya mekota tale ama memma na mene memma be se yi akoda ni makwaji sika sa
kaka bonye sika obeti ni memma sei ka ba mana makwaji no fine
sa de ya ben wo hodada sa na meka se no ofu ye kona omo ye wo semena e hye ne ade man wo be sra no fo eyiye we be dwale no for a year. So a year no e de nyama pa be brew nti e de brewa after a year no wakwa akoda ase eti nka ne se ya akwajeje ta ho dada ye no an se wo kwa na eja wo de aye ho se ne e wo ho dada aha ade e bo ade se tem ye se e wo ho eti ka sa bere ka
This is on the Real Woman in Me Show.
Nyame bu pon akọ medemia ana me ho atete a me mmeremu nyame da o se se rade do wa no so hwewu rade no wa o de wo ya de no abeso wa hwe wo benya se wo be ma akọ me rade aso wa hwe de waji din ase de dia ni munya wo nya po okura se ni biba dua bi wo mmire bible say ne yes ewura mu bi mmire wo na onyankopon akotu yan fi wura mu de abeka Israel nyame ho adomo no moja na hwegu cover no so no eno na ama yesu akwanya ni yesu yetimi ne obrempo papa yi sei yetimi ba na ni tu nsadidi na o se twen na wo hunti minti ewia ho nti obusom ne bi o ho nti ba him o wo fie nti me ma watete apansam be gu wani mase be me ni guase ato na akire ho na me pagyaw ama ba him a odu anadwo bi a wo do nam no watse ne be ya ho ma to ache makate me di onyankopon achi.
This is on the Real Woman in Me Show.
Heavy get we be keke.
Yishira. Kalanu anya hu ni anwo. Ko me na me emu omo nya bi ni. Benku no ma die.
Mami,
what we hear ska kesi sei. Na kama pe ayi trotro ka yi. Ma jemu guru. Ade anwo pa chicken. Wo chama nkofo se wo ni di keke anya yi.
Mami,
e we ska that table so abayi ko so.
O de kwaye shop ko to designer
ya juma ama akra nya ba bi. Won se rade e wo won se
nya ho.
Me de ministreka do pa ye
because na mami wo kan hwe wiase e mobo hwe wo be koki osubi no obi wa 11 wa 12 ni kuna ja oni mema different na wo mu gum obe da kwa ni omo ni atu ka fete so
ye ti blame ni se o ma ne wo kwan na Sandra
nami
we boy me show picture your picture look on Facebook what a Sandra some of slay no I say that time so one street is a day street
sa picture we na ye Easter na ye Easter day na ye Easter mo
there's a wig a show no
we kra me dey pony keke
where
pony keke
This is on the Real Woman in Me Show.
So you essence say obe hu nyame oni nyame nena me na me se ruade keke ni so mama ya hoten mama ya boafo keke na me nkofa gas ye mu nam abontin ya omo fo se boafo ni babia no me babi fo mutin tu ne bibi ndi na sasa ruade amon na me nyeska me si da ye eti wo bompa ya kan wate na kan mo mpa bo se ruade nhya me do mama wo ye koduro hu mama nkwa ahodin wom me fanya na dwuma na bibi esi kwan me fe nyame se ruade mo me so me da ruade me de ruade so ma ukra me ni bi kru ni nyina se da wase nyame nyam ko be bia nyame hyiram me se mo bo nyane de wie wonu yamu after me me di me bronya to obi bia fa me bronya de mre me omo yo mo ponje wi ayo mo nkokọ ayo mo pizza mba chome me pizza ke ye fast ye di o enti mo so e chena compensate me so me di bronya to obi bia me bronya de on fam maaye but this year there was some sponsor program yi compensate kwa chire e kan akoma fine apart from no obi bia wo me page me bronya de pacho me je why this year there also bia boa re woman in me ne kwa chire twa kama wurate na mane 055 2369 403 055 2369 403 edini Charlotte Oduro nyame nhira wo oni mabuchia ote me do na me so wo me so do na me so me do na Kristo do ye anwumre me ni me kru ni nyina se e mo bia afehia pa onyame nka mo ho me da wase ade pache na nyame atom wo mani me fo me nham bye bye. Hey, good evening. My name is Lady Reverend Mrs. Charlotte Oduro, and this is the Real Woman in Me show. I'm so blessed to be here. Sorry we are late today. You know, schools have reopened and we have to do one or two things. I'm just coming back from lectures, but no matter what, the show is still going to run. I celebrate everybody and I thank you all for supporting and standing with the Real Woman in Me. I also want to wish all of you again Happy New Year to all of you, and I thank God for the grace He has given to us, the life, the opportunity we have. Let me tell you this, somebody is just wishing that they could talk again, because the state that they are in the hospital, they have already been condemned. Somebody wish they could walk again, but the strength is not there. Somebody even is dead. But you and I, we are living. No matter the circumstances, we are still standing. No matter who is hurting us. Today we had to go and see one man of God that their only child is dead. A man of God that intercedes, that prays for people and all that. Their only child just died. And I ask myself questions, that this journey is not an easy road. Sometimes we get so lonely. Sometimes we need all of you to be there. Don't judge. The judging is too much. You have not been in somebody's situation, so stop judging. Until it happens to you, you wouldn't feel how they are feeling. There are videos circulating of men of God, their statements and all that. I will not be in the place to judge anybody, because I'm not wearing their shoes. Whether they are wrong or they are right, I leave it in the hands of God. You and I need to find ourselves with God. And if you find yourself with God and your brother is sinking, you pray for the brother, help the brother out. You don't push them down. You don't kill them, because they're already dying. They are sinking in situation, pain, frustration. A lot of things are happening, my dear. We cover up, because we want the world to know we are okay, because we need to be a point of inspiration to you. So a man of God is going through pain. The child died 30th of December, and he needs to go to church and do 31st all night. You think it's easy? It is not easy. The pain is going through, but he has a mandate to follow. He has a calling that needs to go beyond his pain to go and do the work of God. And if you sit somewhere and judge people like this with their pain and their trouble, and you think you have the right to do it, let's be very careful. For life is not easy. And life is not how you see it. So don't be happy when the brother is being rejected. Don't be happy when the sister is crying. If you see them crying, get close to them. Don't listen to what people are saying. Get close and hear for yourself. If what people are saying is true, you will know it. And when you get close, and even what people are saying is true, can you be in their shoes? Can you try to give them a minute to understand why they are in that state? We are quick to judge. We are quick to discriminate, quick to reject, quick to point hands. But we are not quick to understand people. We are not quick to draw people close to us. We are too judgmental. I weep in my heart today when I saw the woman of God and I could just see the face. And Mommy, I saw my boy. He was so fine. He was so fine. And all of a sudden my boy was sleeping and I was funning him to sleep. And then he fell asleep, but I just saw him wake up. And that was the end of my boy. He was shaking as if he had seen something in his dream. And that was the end of my boy. Who did this to me? If you don't know their pain, that's the story we're about to share today. Somebody's story, somebody's journey, somebody's life. Don't be quick to judge. When we started Sandra's issue, others were saying this, others were saying that, but people that have been through Sandra's issue and people that are still going through Sandra's issues, many people call and say, Mommy, I don't know, but I am changed now. I went to the woman of God's house today and I met one lady from abroad. I didn't even recognize her because I don't know her. And she was contemplating, is that the woman of God? She wasn't sure. So when I was leaving, she said, oh, Mommy, I knew it was you. I have been watching way back, and even once your episode last 2019, I called in to one of your programs. I love you. You have been inspiration, and because of your words, I have changed a lot. It might not help you, but it's helping somebody. So if you think you are better than that, what you need to do is pray and support us so that somebody who is not better can also become better. Let's help each other. Let's not judge, but hold hands together and pray for each other. I have one of my beautiful girls here. She's going to speak. She's going to tell you her ordeal, her pain, her journey. And this story, we are not ending today. We'll continue again. But I have Sandra here, Madam White. Today she's in white. Sandra is there. She looks beautiful. Tell me, dear. And then my beautiful lady that we're going to talk with today, she's looking good and all, you know. She's called Valentina.
Yes, ma'am.
Valentina, how are you?
Fine, thank you.
Hey, that's my Nigerian. You know the Nigerians, when they are greeting you, they go like that. One thing I love about Nigerians when it comes to respect to call, I'm telling you, Nigerians with their respect to the calling, it's in the highest level. And Nigerian man will meet you somewhere if you're a woman. I remember when I went to Germany, I was in one of the shops. I think I told you.
Yes.
And I met a Nigerian family. They ran to me. Oh, Mama, wow. I said it was her. Everybody was bringing money. I don't have money. Let me sow this. It's for my kids, for this. And I was shocked in the market.
Wow.
And they were all like this. Oh, Mama, bless you. We tap into the oil. We tap. You see, it makes you careful because there are people looking up to you. It makes you not, the moment you feel proud, something evil is in you. But the moment you feel so humble when people run to you and you know, the reason why they're running to you is because of the word you carry and the kind of glory God has given to you. It makes you ask God, what did I do to get all this? It humbles you and always caution you every time when you're making a mistake. Know that there are people looking up to you. Valentina, we want to hear your story. We want to start from the scratch. I know a little because you said a little to me. When it comes to my girl Sandra, her story has been said. She has done a lot. So comparing you and her, it looks almost the same. You know?
Yes, please.
But yours also went through another level of it, you know. So everybody, but it has similar for her. Straight into the big business, sleeping around and all that. Hey, she went to different level. You also have your own level.
Yes.
So I want you to also share your own, but we'll take it step by step. We want to know who Valentina is, but with the show, we don't want to mention names of the churches you went to because for one or two reasons. So let's start with Valentina. My Sandra is my Sandra. So she's my. When you ask me who is Sandra, I say Sandra is my daughter. You are also my daughter.
Yes,
but I want the world to hear your story. It's similar like hers. Her own there, you to your own to Tell us who Valentina is.
Okay, first I want to say a very big thank you, Mommy. It's a real privilege to be on your show and to have this platform. I want to say thank you to Daddy Solomon Oduro for even giving you permission to host us and give us this platform to share our stories for people's lives to be changed. My name is Valentina Uko. I'm from Nigeria, from the Tiv-speaking part of Nigeria.
Oh, the what?
Tiv-speaking tribe.
Oh, okay.
T-I-V.
Oh, okay.
Tiv.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
From Benue State.
Okay.
Yes. So, my name is Valentina Uko.
But Valentina, there's something about your story.
Yes, Mommy.
How did it happen? I want to know where it started from.
Okay. I grew up a very homegrown, very homegrown child that I never used to go out. I was always with my siblings or my parents. I wasn't even a child. I'm the last child. So I wasn't even a child that was going to people's homes to even do sleepovers and all of that. I was very, very homegrown. My dad was very, he used to dot at me and check like, this child has to be home and always around me. So in my final year in secondary school, I just finished secondary school and I came back home, and next thing my dad died. My dad, that was my everything. I was always about my dad. My dad would give me anything I want. I can show my daddy anything, even from a magazine. I can see a dish and I'll be like, Daddy, can you give me money to make this? I can make it. He will support my handicraft because he noticed that as a little child, I liked doing things with my hands. But when my daddy died, everything changed for me. I now had to go to university. When I got to the university, I met a new world. A world that I never knew certain things were going on until I got into that environment. And I started meeting people, bad friends, associating myself with very crazy people. So it started from having a need to have a daddy figure.
Because you missed your father?
Because I missed my daddy.
But where was your mother?
So much. I didn't, my mom, I grew up with my stepmom.
Where was your real mother?
My real mom is late right now. So my mom was not with me. I didn't grow up with my mom. God bless her soul. Yes, I didn't grow up with my mom. I had my stepmom who was very nice to me. She took care of me growing up. My mom left when I was less than a year old. And my stepmom took care of me.
She left where? You don't know?
Yeah.
She just left you?
No, she left me with my dad.
You were not even 1 year?
Yes.
And she didn't carry you along?
No, my stepmom took care of me. And my mom is late now, so anyway, I became close to her eventually before she died. And I had a beautiful relationship with her before she died. She died when I was in Bible school here in Ghana. So in the university, the need to have a daddy got me dating people who were way older than me.
Like sugar daddies?
Yeah, sugar daddies. And because I was used to having certain things, having a certain kind of attention. I wasn't getting that kind of attention from anyone. I didn't have that daddy, someone that is like a father around me closely, wanting to hear my everyday anything. No daddy to call. When I have issues in school, I just have to fall back to my siblings or my brother or my stepmom, or just I was just going through so much in my life, and because I was so attached to my dad, I was emotionally detached from people when he was gone. So I started looking out for father figures in sugar daddies, and these sugar daddies will take advantage of you. They know that you're vulnerable, you don't have a dad, so there's no one you can even report to, even if they misbehave or they maltreat you in any way. So then I started doing drugs. The drugs part of it came from schoolmates.
Wow.
Yeah.
In the university.
Yes, classmates, schoolmates, seniors in school, because I was always looking for that, like school father, something like that.
Even in university, you were still looking for it.
Even though I was in university, I was just still very needy of someone to who do I speak to about something. If I'm having issues with, I was just needy of an elder brother kind of thing, but not in a good way. So I started smoking.
Smoking what?
I used to smoke cigarettes, and that smoking at that time was so terrible. I think it was like a demonic kind of smoking, because I'll have to buy like a whole rack of cigarettes, and I could not smoke like 1-2 sticks. I'll smoke like a whole pack sitting down in one place.
What?
Yeah, and I didn't need
one pack of cigarettes at a go.
Yes, not just even one pack. Like one pack is like the basic thing I'll do at that time. But after the cigarette, I'll have to smoke weed to top it up, because I felt like cigarette.
After taking the pack of the cigarette,
yes,
cigarette that you are smoking,
yeah,
you need to top up with the weed.
Yes, because I felt like it was not enough. Like I had smoked cigarette to the point that cigarette didn't used to give me that high that I wanted. So I always have to smoke weed to top it up. And when I started smoking weed, the weed got so terrible that I would travel out of town, like from Accra to Kumasi, to go and get weed, just because I've heard that the weed from there is better than the weed around me.
Jesus.
Yeah. So I'll smoke so much weed, and I didn't need to go to anyone's place or any club to go and smoke the weed. I would get weed a lot in my house, and my house became like a den for all the bad boys to come. So it's like I had something about me that could bring people around me a lot. So my place became like a hub for the bad boys, the bad girls to come and smoke, drink. And the drinking part too was, I like to mix things and drink.
Wow.
Yes, and I like to cook with the weed too. I smoked weed to the point that I didn't just like to smoke it anymore. I wanted to make my noodles with weed.
With weed?
Yes, make my beans with weed. Even set people up with weed. Just crazy things that I and my friends will experiment with smoking marijuana. So that's for weed smoking. Then after some time, I made friends with some young guys who were into drugs seriously. So they introduced me to tramadol. So I started taking tramadol, overdose of tramadol, Refnol. Sometimes they'll put the pills for me, mix them, different kinds of pills. I don't even know what I'm taking in, and they'll give it to me just for me to get high. The drugs got me to the point that tramadol was no more enough again. So I'm smoking cigarettes, I'm smoking the weed, I'm taking tramadol, but tramadol again was not enough. and I started taking Benylin with codeine mixed with Coca-Cola. So I'm sitting down in my lectures. My lecturers think I'm listening to my lectures, but I'm taking Coke, something that looks like Coke, but I was actually taking drugs.
Even in the lecture,
When
you're in the lecturing room,
yes,
you're still taking it.
Yeah, so I was studying fine art at Ahmadu Bello University Zaria, and fine art is supposed to be 4 years. I spent 8 years studying a 4 years course because of the different things that I was into and I was doing, which my siblings didn't even know the intensity of the things I was doing, because when it's holiday time and everybody is going for holiday, I don't want to go home for holiday because I have my little bad habits that I don't want my mom to know about. I don't want my siblings to know that I've gone this far with smoking. I was always leaving the university campus to travel, to go and meet with sugar daddies and boyfriends and party. I would travel, take a flight to go and party somewhere and come back to school. So I would miss my lectures, miss my tests, miss so many things. And my life in school was also so vain. So vain. I remember at the time that I received Jesus as my Lord and Savior, I had about 120 pairs of shoes as a student.
Wow.
And about 69 pairs of only blue jeans. We're not talking about other things, other colors. That's how vain I was. I would have so much of everything.
Because of the kind of life you
Life
were
that
living.
I was living, because it's like this group of people, the sugar daddies need me to be a certain way. The young boys need me to be a certain way. My schoolmates need me to be a certain way. So
Need to please all of them.
yes, I was just that way. So I had a very messed up life emotionally. I was not happy. I was very depressed.
With all the things you were getting, you were still not happy.
I wasn't happy. I was so depressed. And my journey with God began when something happened to me in my room. I tried to cut myself using the louvers in my room.
Why?
Because I got so depressed. I took weed, I took drugs, and I don't know what was going on with my system, my whole being. And I wanted to kill myself. So I slashed.
So wait, so you were not even satisfied with the big men you're going out with?
No, I would even have money stashed in my room. Like, I'll have a mini bank. Like, I have money. Like, sometimes I can even have like a traveling bag, and I have cash in my traveling bag, like a lot of money. But
You were not working. You were just a student.
I was a student.
Were you going out with ministers or? Because with that kind of money you carry,
I was going out with the high. The very, very high, very mighty people who I could ask for anything and they'll give me anything. It was not a good season at all. And I was roped. Like, it's like you have this one is taking care of these particular needs. This one is taking care of this one. So it's like I just had ties with so many men.
so you're not even going out with one or two.
No, I had multiple partners. And that's not all. To be honest, it wasn't just men that I was having relationships with. I got so messed up that I was doing the drugs, sleeping with the sugar daddies, and also lesbianism. So I was now bisexual.
How did you get into lesbianism? How?
Lesbianism was wrong company. Like, you just hang out with a sugar daddy who has come with another sugar daddy who has a girl who is a lesbian, and they want you. So it was very toxic. If I want to be very honest, to help somebody who is going through the same thing, who is tied up, who is sleeping with men and having relationships with women too, then this is it. It was that terrible. So I got so depressed. I tried to kill myself, so I slashed my hand on a louver in my room. When I cut myself, I now realized that I could die. Like, I'll really die. And I just took myself to a pharmacy. And the pharmacist, luckily for me, my vein was not affected. But something mysterious happened to me that started a journey for me. I came back home after he put the plaster and he took care of my wounds, and I slept. I woke up the next morning and the plaster on my hand was not there, the wound was not there, and there was no sign, there was no mark that I cut myself or anybody touched my hand to do anything. And I began to wonder, what is going on with my life? Who am I? Why will God spare my life? What does God want to use me for? And from that moment, I started losing, I'll say, my appetite for all the things that I had. I didn't want them anymore. All I wanted to know who did that. I was going through too many things. You know, a lot of women don't want to talk about it. When you're talking about your story, people tell you, don't speak, as in censor some things, don't say this, don't say this.
The same thing happened to her when she was talking. They were saying, oh, you are going too deep. No. Some things, we are about God. It's not about what people think.
People say, oh, don't say this thing because you're a single woman. Maybe nobody's
the same thing, who will marry you?
Who will marry you? How do you go on TV and say that you used to sleep with sugar daddies? That means anybody but they are doing it.
It's happening.
Wait, will now say, oh, she's still doing it. But it's my story, and I have to share it, and somebody needs to be transformed. Somebody needs to be delivered. Right in my room, I started losing appetite for even sex. The men, someone can come to my house, sleep over, and the next morning I'm telling the person, get up and leave. I started getting irritated by everything that I was doing that was terrible. Then one day I was standing in front of a mirror in my room, and I heard in my spirit that I should go to a man of God, which is my spiritual father, Bishop David Bakari of Jesus' Life World Outreach Ministries in Zaria. That's 3 months before I finished university. To go to him and tell him to lead me to Christ. So I started looking for the church. Where is Bishop David Bakari? And now realized that his church was in Samaru. And I went there. The first time I went, the secretary told me that you can't see the man of God.
Why?
Why? Later on, he revealed to me that everything about me was like I was a mermaid.
That's what he saw.
Yeah, that's what he saw. Like every time I came and I said I wanted to see the man of God, he was seen like a mermaid. Someone with a terrible, like he could virtually see me that way. So the second time I went again, he won't let me. But mysteriously, the third time I went to the church again, that day I just said, let me try again. And I went to the church, and Bishop was in his office and he was sitting on the floor. So I walked into they allowed me to come in. And when I got into the office, I was so amazed that, because I was always with older men, I thought that he'll be sitting on a throne and he'll be all bossy and I would just see somebody like a king. But I saw him on the floor praying, on the floor, on his carpet. I knelt down, I was weeping and crying. I was telling him that, please lead me to Jesus, lead me to Christ. So he just told me to give him my 2 hands, and I gave him my 2 hands, and he held me and led me to Christ. Immediately, he led me to Christ. I started speaking in tongues. As soon as I said the prayer of salvation, I started speaking in tongues. It was like God was waiting for me. Like, salvation has come. We've been waiting for you to get saved. So the baptism baptism of the Holy Spirit happened immediately. As I started speaking in tongues, my Bishop David Bakari, sent me back to the church auditorium and told me that I should go to the altar and pray and keep praying in the tongues. When I went to the altar, then I saw, when I put my hands on the altar, then I saw a form like fire, flames of fire, and I put my head on the fire and I realized that was Jesus, and my head was on his feet. I couldn't see him.
You just saw the fire.
I saw the fire, like I could literally touch it. And I ran from the altar and went straight to my bishop's office. I was like, this is what happened to me. He told me, go back and keep praying. When I went back to the altar, then I heard in my spirit that go to the podium where he stands to preach. When I stood there, I saw like my eyes opened spiritually, and I saw so many people and something like a white being by my left hand side. And I heard the Lord tell me that I'm going to use you like a speed of light. So I ran from the altar again and ran into the office and said, man of God, this is what I just heard, this is what I just saw. And instantly he switched on the light and switched it off and said, God will use you faster than this. Go back to the altar and pray. I went back to the altar. It was too much for me. I came back to the office. I ran back to the office to meet Bishop David Bakari. And he said, I should kneel down. And he began to pray for me, deliverance. My deliverance started, but something mysterious happened again. I saw that I came out of my body and I was standing and I was watching my deliverance happen. I was watching every step of it, how when he speaks about a marine spirit leaving, I can literally see the thing leaving. I can see something leaving my body. When he calls for this, I'll see it leaving. All the habits that I had, everything that I had been doing, suddenly is like everything just left me, like as if you take an injection and draw something out. That's how it felt. Then immediately I started prophesying, and he gave me a piece of paper to write the things I was prophesying. And he just wrote it and gave it back to me at the end of the day. So I looked, something told me to look at the time, and I looked and it was 3 p.m. That's my salvation story. That's how I gave my life to Christ that day. So I'm not a girl that went to church and the sermon was preached and I got up and I went to the altar. My first giving my life to Christ was because I had a supernatural encounter in my house by myself, and I was led to go to someone specifically.
Yeah. But let me ask you this. In all those times you were doing the lesbians, the sugar daddies, the drugs, did you do fetish?
No. That's one part that I believe that God mercifully kept me away from. I never came close to people who could take me to those things. Even though some people I will know that they do those things, but I didn't have an appetite for that. Maybe because of my background growing up, I didn't know anything like that. So it was difficult to draw me into stuff like that. So I escaped that. I escaped having tattoos, even though I had opportunities to have those things. I escaped taking cocaine, not because I didn't have access to cocaine. I had access to it from students in the university. There were people who had access to it because their parents were very wealthy and they could afford to get those things in school. So they were around me, but I just didn't have appetite for the fetish side or cocaine and all that. My drug taking stopped at tramadol and codeine with benylene overdose.
Okay, so as you were saying that some of the sugar daddies will come with some lesbians and all that. So how did you do it? You sleep with a sugar daddy, after that you sleep with a lesbian. How were you how were you managing it?
Mommy, it's not how are you managing it. At that point, you're so vulnerable, there's nowhere to go. the kind of hotel you are in, the kind of environment you are in, does not even permit you to say no to certain things, even if you are not into it. It's like you're trapped. You are a slave. You can't do otherwise. Because you just can't. You're looking at the kind of person you're hanging around with. You see the kind of bodyguards that are already around. You can't misbehave. So whether you want it or not, and when you start, it's like an addiction. When you start, it's like you're introduced to a new spirit. It's a spirit. There's a spirit behind it. Yeah. So you're doing it, and you keep doing it. You keep doing it unless you're delivered from it by the power of the Holy Spirit. It's not something that someone can talk you out of. You can't talk somebody out of lesbianism. You can't talk somebody out of prostitution. You can't talk somebody out of having a sugar daddy. It's not a talk. It's not a counseling thing.
It's a spiritual thing.
It's a highly spiritual thing. There has to be.
They need to have if there's no encounter.
Yes. I believe that God mercifully took me out of that lifestyle and all of that mercifully. There was no escape route for me. It was like it's either I'm going deeper and deeper and deeper in it, or I'm going to die in it, because there was just no way out. And once you get entangled in it, there are some people that you meet them, they give you things they give you gifts, but those gifts they are giving you are even laced with things. So if somebody knows that you smoke cigarettes and he wants to even do something evil to you, they can use cigarettes. All they need to do is do something to it. The sugar daddies will buy you your lingerie and all of that. They can do something to it. So there's a whole lot that goes on with young girls and students in universities. Even we just need to pray and to be non-judgmental to girls that we meet who are going through certain things, who have certain lifestyles going on, knowing that sometimes you don't know how they got into it. Like me, I can't tell you that somebody really introduced me. I wanted to know people. I wanted to be in a circle. I wanted to be around those kind of daddies.
To belong.
Yes, I wanted to belong because I just wanted to be there. And it got me trapped and messed up. But God mercifully pulled me out. So I looked up on the day that I gave my life to Christ, and I saw 3 p.m. And exactly the next day, at 3 p.m., I finished school.
8 years.
8 years. What I couldn't do all that while, I finished at 3 p.m. the next day. I was ready to leave university. I was set. Everything was fine for me. My project supervisor told me, Valentina, you can bring in your project. And my project was rejected a lot. So I went back to my bishop, and he gave me money to go, because he said I should never take money from any of the sugar daddies again from the moment he led me to Christ. And one beautiful thing that the church did for me, my bishop and his wife in Nigeria, Bishop David Bakari, they made sure, because of my story and because of how toxic my life had been and how he saw me, my skin color wasn't this way. I wish I had a picture to show you the before and the after. You see that I wasn't this way. My eyes were always red, not white like this. My lips were completely burnt, like dark burnt lips, because of the smoking of the cigarettes and the weed. So, and sometimes I'm already high and I'm smoking the weed, so the weed will even burn me because it's finished, but I'm not even aware that it's finished because I'm high. So it kept burning me, and yes, and I got the junkie part of me. I took the drugs to a point that my body used to shake from head to toe. Like I can just be there and my body will just shake, just be shaking, shaking, shaking. Then it will stop. That's the height of the of being a junkie that I had gone. But God saved me.
Wow.
And pulled me out of that, and the appetite to, from that moment there was no more need for me to, I never had any desire to be a lesbian. The thing just left supernaturally. Rather, when I see someone who is going through lesbianism, there's compassion. There's just compassion. I can see that, girl, this thing is not, I can't even advise you not to do it.
Just have to pray for them.
Yes. And in the university, there were different ways that people were being pulled into these things. For example, you can go to the mall, and when you get to the mall, on the mall doors, like the toilet, the restrooms, people will leave numbers for you. So you can't be saying, oh, I've trained my daughter very well, and the only way that she will meet with bad people is through meeting a classmate or something. There are so many ways that people are roped into.
They leave numbers at the bathrooms.
Yeah, the bathrooms. Like.
But why do you pick the number whilst you don't know who the number is?
But that's how students were getting involved in different kinds of things. So you want weed, somebody has a number for you to get weed. You want this, you want to meet this caliber of people. The numbers are written in different places, dropped in the washrooms, dropped in the lecture halls, different places. So it's not like you can escape. You think that your child, that, okay, for example, you're a pastor and your daughter is going to the university, and you feel that, oh, she may meet a roommate who is coming from a different background.
Of course.
And that roommate will introduce her to something. There are different things I was introduced to, from, oh, escort me here. Escort me to the salon. You're going to the salon, you meet a woman who is like the head of a cartel of young girls who she takes to big men. So you went to the salon to do your hair with your friend, but it was already arranged that there will be somebody there to meet you and to introduce you to something. So there are so many ways that people are being brought into terrible things. It's not a one-way traffic. It's not
wow.
one-way. Yeah.
Things are happening in the universities.
Things are happening in the universities. Things are happening everywhere.
Wow.
Everywhere.
So from lesbians, from being a junkie, sleeping around.
Yes.
You met Jesus.
And I met Jesus. Met Jesus. My life changed. I went from the girl that was always receiving awards for best dressed in the university, the girl that was the it girl that everybody knew to be a certain way. I gave out everything that I had. I started all over again. All I had was I think I had a black robe and what they call chalewate. That's what I was walking on the streets of Zaria with. I would go preach to people on the street, take them to church. I was just bringing people to church. I became like,
I know. I know how it is when you become a born again. They want to die for God. The time I walked, I was saying, hey, you know where you come down.
Because I knew where God had pulled me from. So I was.
You want to testify to let people know.
Yes, I would go anywhere, tell anybody about it, tell students about the love of God and how Jesus died for them, how they can give their lives to Christ. Tell them they should remember me, how I was snobby, how I was very rude. Even my lecturers began to see my change. I stayed like 3 months before I left university. My lecturers could see me transform in the 3 months that was left. They virtually saw me like switch.
Okay, so if you can remember, how long were you in that act?
Okay.
Being a drug addict, how long?
Okay. I was in university from 2001, to I finished in 2009.
8 years.
8 years.
So you were in it for 8 years?
No, I didn't. Like from 2003. by the ending of 2003, that's when I became a bad girl.
Okay.
So I was a good girl. I didn't know anything about anything all that well. But from 2003,
Okay.
by the ending of 2003, up until the time that I gave my life to Christ, that was the period of.
It was like 5, 6 years.
Yes, but it was intense. Like everything that I did it to World Cup level.
So 5 to 6 years, you were drug
As
addict.
in drugs. In my room, I'll have like a bar. As a student, I had a mini bar in my room of different kinds of drinks, alcohol. Just like line them up. To me, it was like something nice to look at, that I have so much to drink. I had so much cigarette to smoke. So I'll buy the rolls and I'll put them in between my clothes and arrange my clothes so that I don't even have to give a friend when they come.
You were even trying to save your cigarette from them.
Yes.
No, how protective you could be when it comes to drugs. We thank God. So your journey to Christianity, we'll jump a little.
Okay.
How has it been?
Okay.
Since you came to Ghana, tell me a little bit of your journey to Christianity.
Okay. I can't speak about my journey without telling you where I'm coming from when it comes to what brought me, how I came to Ghana.
Okay.
One day there was a church that I was going to, and in Abuja in Nigeria, and one day after a service, I was walking on the sidewalk of the church, outside the church, on the sidewalk of the road. Somebody looked at me and pointed at me and said, "I name you Anakazo." I had never heard that word before. And I was like, how can somebody walk up to me, point at me, and give me a name? Like, I felt it was crazy. I didn't understand that. So I called my bishop's son, Pastor Jesutomi Bakari, and I asked him that somebody did this to me on the road. What does it mean? He now told me that nobody can name you. It's not given to me or daddy or anyone to give you a name except your spouse. So he's talking about a season in your life. Google it. So when I Googled the word Anakazo, I saw Anakazo Bible and Ministry Training Center in Ghana. But about 3 months before that day, I had been receiving in my spirit that I have a father in Ghana. So when I heard of Anakazo, Bishop Darkeward Mills, God revealed him to me supernaturally. I didn't know him from anywhere. I had never heard any sermon that he ever preached. I didn't know anything. So when I found that, when I had heard that from God, that I have a father in Ghana, Bishop Darkeward Mills, then when that name was given to me and I checked and I saw a school that belonged to him, I'm like, wow. Then there was a hunger. I want to come to Ghana. I want to sit under the feet of this man of God. I want to know more about God's kingdom. My driving force for Bible school was, I want to know about God's kingdom. God cannot show me this and I will not meet this person. So I had a very deep hunger to come to Bible school. But how will I come to Bible school? God started a journey with me. From Abuja, after I gave my life to Christ, I went for my youth service. When I went for my youth service, I finished youth service in Benin. The Lord told me, leave Benin with only your handbag. That was how my journey started. I left Benin to Abuja with only my handbag. When I got there, my sister gave me a box filled with clothes and 7 pairs of shoes. My faith in God began to leap. Like, God can provide for me, and if God tells me to do anything, he can do anything for me. So from Abuja, the Lord again told me, I'm moving you to Lagos. If you believe I'm the one saying it, go and tell your brother. I went to my brother, I told him I'm leaving for Lagos. Then I left for Lagos. I gave out everything in Abuja again. I moved to Lagos. When I moved to Lagos again, then one Saturday evening, somebody called me who had been following me on Facebook for a long time. And he told me that God has laid on his heart to bless me with either a house, a car, or land. Whatever I choose, he will bless me with it. So I told him I don't want any of those things. All I want, that what is burning in my heart, is to go to Bible school in Ghana. If he can make it happen, I'll be very grateful. So I slept off that night, and I woke up in the morning, and the house where I was staying in Lagos, the daughter of the owner of the house came downstairs and told me that, Valentina, mommy called from Ghana and said, do you want to go to Ghana? Somebody saw your handicrafts, some Ivorians, and they want to see you in person. They want you to multiply the things that you do. So I was like, wow. Last night I was talking about Ghana, and today I'm given an opportunity to go to Ghana, and there's a ticket for me. And I said, I'm going to Ghana. So I went and did my police report immediately. In 3 days I was set for Ghana, and I came to Ghana, and I arrived Ghana with 15 cedis, 50 pesos by faith.
You didn't have any money?
I didn't have any money. I didn't even wait for the person who promised to give me money. I said I will come, and if God wants him to do it, God will send the money to me through him. Anyhow, I just arrived by faith with 15 cedis, 50 pesos, by the grace of God. And that's how I came in, and I discovered I was 3 weeks too early for Bible school. Well, luckily for me, I had a place to stay because I was told to come. So I was staying, and then some 3 days, I noticed something happened from the day that I arrived. From the park, I came by road. So from the park, the person I sat beside knew the house of the people I was coming to Ghana to see, and took me to the house. And when he took me to the house, to the people that I came to see, the next day, we had a reason to go out with the mom. When we went out, the taxi man turns and says, I don't want to collect money from you. I just feel like blessing you. It happened the first day. The next day we went out again. I entered a trotro car, and the trotro driver, the conductor was taking money from everybody. The trotro driver turned and told the conductor that that particular lady, don't collect her money. I want to bless her.
Wow.
So I heard this the second day. The third day was now a day that I was going to the Bible school for my interview. The Uber guy that took me to Bible school turns and says, when we got to the Bible school, that he doesn't want to take money from me, and he wants to bless me. And I knew that I was in the will of God. I was like, this cannot happen 3 consecutive, like 3 days. People I don't know from anywhere. So that's how I landed at Bible school. And I went for my interview, and to my amazement, I was told that I've been given a scholarship. So Bishop Dag gave us scholarship, and I didn't have to pay $1,400 for my Bible school.
At the Bible school, they paid $1,400.
It was supposed, as in when I saw on the internet before I came, the fee was $1,400, but Bishop Dag removed that fee for all the students and decided that he would give students scholarships for people to come and be trained in the work of ministry. So by the grace of God, that's how I landed in Ghana, specifically for Bible school at the prestigious Anakazo Bible and Ministry Training Center, Mountain.
Wow. That is a story there.
Yes. So I moved from junkie girl
You
to
can just
a girl
imagine.
that is so hungry to know about the kingdom of God. The kingdom was my drive. I wanted to know about the kingdom of God. I wanted to sit and learn from Bishop Dag. And by God's grace.
We thank God how God was able to bring you to Ghana, how you were able to survive with 15
4
cedis,
years.
50 pesos.
That's what I arrived with.
I'm just imagining what you eat, how. Anyway, that's good. Can you share a story or some part in your life, like coming to Christ.
Yeah, challenges.
One or two challenges that made you so sad. And this journey of Christianity, just give me only one or two instances that you something you went through that is still with you.
One of the things that I went through, you know, I honestly thought that when I come to Christ, like church and everything, the body of Christ and all of that, one thing I didn't know that you can still encounter rejection.
In the church.
Rejection and people judging you. And one of my saddest moments is confiding in people that I felt that I was sharing my story with them and giving them an insight to where God had pulled me out from, and hoping that they will maybe understand me and guide me a certain way.
You needed somebody to help you.
I needed someone to help me, yeah, because the life of a girl that is jumping around and the life of a born-again Christian girl, it was like two different worlds to me. So I have suffered sharing stuff with people that I felt will have my back, who rather will use my story. For example, maybe I'll share deep stuff about my past, and next thing I hear somebody speak about it, and even make it so clear that I'm the one being talked about. It broke me. It made me to become like, I called up where you don't want to tell anyone. Like, as for a woman of God, I'm amazed that when I met you, because even how I met you, I had been following you for 3 years from Bible school. Because people will tell me that, Valentina, you're very agile and you preach like Mommy Charlotte. But I didn't know, because we have preaching exercises where we are taught how to preach. So you create your sermons and you preach, and they watch you preach and they correct your preaching and teach you how to preach the word and all of that. So a lot of my Bible colleagues will tell me that, hey, Valentina, you speak like Mommy Charlotte Oduro. I don't know who she is. Valentina, you are like Mommy Charlotte. Do you know her? Find out the woman of God. You should follow her. You are like her. So that's how I started looking for you. I started following you. Until one day, during the lockdown, you were passing by Hacho. And I saw you were driving. But there was like a hold up. And I stood by the road and I was screaming, I love you. Hey, I love you. Is this you? I was screaming, like, I don't know if you remember. I was shouting like, are you the one? I'm going to see you again. I love you. I love you. I love you. And I was standing with my friend from Bible school. And she was like, did this just happen? Can you remember? We're always teasing you that you are like her. And right in front of me, you've seen her face to face. It means you're going to see her again. Let's believe that you're going to see her again. So I just kept believing that I'm going to see you again. And next thing, you had the next level conference where my friend Glory told me that, please, let's go for this conference. I think it will be a blessing to our lives. And we came for the conference, and that's when I encountered you like face to face and sat under your ministry. And I was so blessed. And is a mystery to me, even that I'm even sitting before you and you've given me this rare privilege. And I want to say, God bless you, Mommy. Thank you.
Bless you, my dear. Bless you. Your story is a lot. Yeah. Like, like compared to Sandra's issue?
Yeah. Mine has to do a lot with rejection.
Yeah.
And malhandling. I'll say, not that I've not been loved much. I've received love in the body of Christ, and in my journey too. I've received so much favor. God has stirred the hearts of kings to bless me, pastors to bless me, to be there for me, and all that. But I've also suffered terrible rejection. People using terrible words on me. I've had women tell me, like I remember one that I remember I was praying one day and somebody stopped me and said, I want to talk to you. Right as I was praying, and the person asked me that, are you dating this person, or is this person having an eye for you? And in my joy I was like, yeah, I think so. And the person told me that, I don't want you to have anything to do with him. We're working on something, so we'll get back to you, okay? And I was like, okay, ma. So in my innocence, I was like, okay. Next thing, I came for like a choir rehearsal, and the person was now there bragging and telling people that were sitting, choir members, how I'm going to there's this girl that wants to this retired, more like a retired prostitute.
That's
so
what
kind of
the wedding.
The kind of like this like I'm an old hag that wants to be joined to one of her boys, and she will do anything in her powers to stop me. And when she raised her head, I was sitting there. What? So I heard everything, and I was broken. I was completely broken. My trust was like, I could not trust, could not even like confide in anybody, to tell anybody this is what I'm going through, or I like this person, likes me, I want to date this person, or all of that. So I was just making my mistakes. Any mistake that I've made, mistakes in relationships or anything, I was just making my mistakes because I cannot tell anybody anything. If I tell, they will judge me, or they will insult me, or I will hear about everything I've said from somebody else or somewhere else. Or so much referral to my past. I've suffered so much referral to my past, like that one. Someone that came, as in, that one, what is she doing in Ghana? She has come to Ghana to look for somebody to marry. So I'm around for Bible school in the country, but I'm being judged not for what I came for, but for my past. So I started even feeling some way to speak about what brought me to Ghana, because it's almost like she's come to look for a husband. Oh, she has come to look for a husband. So even if I desire to have a husband, it's now difficult for you to even speak about such matters with anybody, because you will be judged. Your type should not be married to anybody, especially the Levites.
So you are not fit to marry a man of God?
No, I'm not. No.
Who are they to judge who you are fit for?
I've been told that. Like, I've been told face to face, you can't be a pastor, you can't
so even you trying to learn the word of God, they are telling you you can't be a woman of God.
I've encountered those kind of terrible things said to me. This you should. Judgment, rejection. Body of Christ. Yeah, I saw when Sandra was sharing her story, I could see people's backlashes.
Yeah.
Like, hey, do you have to say this one? Do you have to... all those kind of funny things. And I'm like, she has said her own, I'm coming to, and we will say it. Because the thing that people don't want us to speak about is especially the maltreatment in the body of Christ.
Yeah.
It's like, talk about anything, but except that, let's hide it.
Yeah. Anyway, we are alive. Sorry, we had one or two issues with sound, and we worked it out. Her story will continue on Thursday.
Okay.
The thing she went through in the church, so that if you're also going through the same thing, the option is not to stop going to church. The option is to stand to prove to the people, the same people that said you can't do it, the same people needs to see God doing it. You know what? Men may give their final verdict, but it is not them that determines who you will be tomorrow. It's in the hands of God. Let them speak it. Let them say it. They are saying that sometimes the words that comes out kills people. There's some people, because of some utterances, they've not been able to do it again. There's some people worse have destroyed their destiny.
Yeah.
But I want you to listen to me. No matter what they tell you, no matter what they say to you, no matter what they think about you, everybody that comes into your life is for a testimony. Don't ever say because of this one came and did wrong, the person is your enemy. They are not. God brings them into your life to shaping you, to put you on the edge of where he's taking you to. That's why he needs to strengthen you. So he needs to bring the same people, or the same people you are equal with, to put you on that challenge. And God wants to see how you'll be able to handle it. So see every calamity as a blessing. Don't always wait for the blessing. Oh, this one is a blessing. No, there's sometimes some situations that looks bad, but out of that bad situation, there is a testimony in it. So Thursday, she will share the other part of her journey when it comes to walking with God. The affliction, we've all gone through it. I've got men of God. I've got women of God. I think 2018 or 2019. Yeah, 2019, 2018. I think 2018, 2019. I got women of God that were able to stand on their pulpit. Some came live on Facebook, gathered people
that I knew way back. People that through my journey of Christianity, I've met them on the journey. People that we were all together in the church, sleeping together in the church. People that we ate gari with. So they in some part of our lives, they got to know us. Those people got to experience who we are. And these people gathered. And do you know what they did? They gathered and Valentina, that's what they did. They came live on Facebook and they gathered those people that we've moved on a journey with, that knows us, saw us when we were nothing. Sometimes when I remember those things, I celebrate God, because they knew us on journey when we were nothing, we were nobodies. They knew us when we were the normal girl, that everybody never saw anything good in us. So they knew us when we were eating gari together. They knew us when we had nothing to eat. They knew us when we had no place to sleep. We were all sleeping at the church. And today, you think you're a woman of God. You think you're anointed. I slept in church for years. Because I slept in church not because we had a house that I wanted to sleep at church. No. I slept in the church because my father and my mother were living in a single room. And we're like 10 or 11 in a room. And I'm the one that sleeps. I never slept in bed since I was growing up. I never had a bed to sleep on. My best place to sleep was on the chair. So I slept there for years, and I developed a back pain. The best place I can sleep is maybe when I go and somebody takes my chair, I sleep on the floor. And that was the best thing I ever had in life. Growing up, I had to be sleeping on chairs for years, and I had back issues. And we could live in that house light off, because we're not paying light bill, we're not paying it, and the heat because of the people that are inside the room was so much, and I hated seeing my father suffer. Sometimes when my father comes home, the state that he sees us in, he goes through pain, because my father had once lived life, and later we entered there. So when he sees the pains, I understand him from afar. Though I was not that old. I was around, I was just coming from 15, 16, 17, 18, 20. I saw so many things in my life. So many things. So when I went to the church to sleep there, I was in the tertiary. So then I was like 20 something. So I was grown. So seeing that pain around 40, 15 to that stage, it became too much for me to carry. So when we are sleeping, I see my father outside, and you could see he was thinking, trying to find what he could do to take his family out of that place. The pain of sleeping without lights, the heat and all that. So I needed a place to run to. I needed a place to escape. And it wasn't easy. So I took it upon myself to live my own life. Find a way to build my life. So I was into guys that would go to, I had one friend that I met in one of my journeys to Sunyani and all that. He just met, I think that guy came, he's a Muslim. He came into my life to be a blessing. That guy, I continue to bless. Ken, wherever you are, God bless. It's called Ken. I think in one of my adventures to get a place to sleep, I went to Sunyani to see one of my cousins there, or a friend there. And then we were going to eat at a restaurant somewhere. And then my cousin left. So when I was eating and I was coming out from the restaurant, I saw a guy sitting on his car. You could see he was that guy, want to rub shoulders and all that. So the moment I got out, he said, "My name is Ken." That's how I started. My name is Ken. I thought he was rude, the way he approached me, and I was like, "You're rude. You don't get to women like that." He said, "I don't care. My name is Ken." So I felt, no, come on, this guy doesn't respect him all that. Then he began to laugh. He said, "You know what? I just like you. I don't want nothing That's how our friendship started. He never did anything to me. We're friends. So he realized that, no, if you're going to school, you have issues. Okay, fine. Then this is what I can do for you. I have clients and abroad. Go and chat internet, and then that's when I was able to pay my way stuck at the poly. But I even know how I is a papa poly. I'm going. How did you do it? Because he didn't have the money, and I could see his pain trying to take me, but he couldn't have it. So I just surprised him. He was shocked. I said, you know what? From now, I will survive. This guy paid for my hostel fee. I paid my fees, gave me money for provision, and he traveled. So anytime it's vacation, then he comes. Then he let me go do this. Then he gives me my money, and that is what. So I said to myself, okay, fine. I've served God for years, and He's not supplying all this, and I got this from this Muslim guy helping me to. I know that thing he was doing wasn't right, but it was giving me money, and I said, okay, fine, God, stay here for, let me stay here for, we should all live a separate life. So I began to pick friends that would go to Kumasi, go and do your nails and all that. And I don't know why God never allowed me to do certain things. But I love to smoke, but I never smoked. One thing in my life that I dreamt of, one thing in my life that I admire was people who smoke. So anyone you see around me smokes. So you come to campus, I'm with guys, and they all smoke, they drink, but I'm with them, but I'm not smoking. Anytime I want to do it, something just, I don't know how God did it, but that was it. So I slept at church. So when I come back from campus, somebody met me at the campus, connected me to a prayer group on campus. I never wanted to go because I wasn't ready for God. Then the guy pushed me. Prophet BB, God bless you. He pushed me and said, God, he said, you're a woman of God. And I was so insulting him the first day he said that. As I don't want to have anything to do with your God. Then he said, the time will come. Let's go and pray. I said, me, I'll go. He forced me one day. I said, okay, fine. Let me go and then shame him. That was the day I met God. That was the day I began to speak in tongues. That was the day I had my encounter with him. I was born in the church, but I was in the church. So you may be born in the church, but you're not part of God's people. I was born, raised, trained by a strong woman of God who do devotion every day, but I never wanted to be part. I was just doing it because she wanted me to do it. I wasn't part of church. I was just going. But I met God when Prophet BB introduced me to that prayer group. They prayed for me, and it was something. So I had to come and sleep at church because I realized that church prays a lot. So I connected. Sleeping in the house, a single room with that heat and all that. Why won't I go to the church? Well, I said, I was sleeping in the church. So there are people that saw our nakedness, that saw our poverty, that saw our shame. And 2019 or 2018, these people gathered together with one of the women of God that I called a mother. Because I was serving under the husband, so I called her mother, a spiritual head. She gathered the people, and they were on Facebook, and they mentioned my name from A to Z, and they insulted me from my head to my toe, trying to let me know how I'm a nobody, trying to tell me how I looked. I wear tattered clothes, they said a lot of things on Facebook, mentioned my name so everybody knows it's me. So they connected with people, their sisters in abroad and all that. And it was a big thing on Facebook. People would call my husband, what is happening? What is going on? My husband was he was also getting angry. I said, you don't get angry. You don't get angry. Let them do what they are doing. It is my testimony. It's part of my story. It is part, God needs to add this to it. If God doesn't add this, my story cannot be completed. So I love this part. Do you know something? When they were doing all that, I never responded to anybody. No, I never got angry. I was just watching. When I watch, I smile. When I watch, I smile. I keep on asking myself, why am I so important for people to gather? And it's me they are talking about. Then I realized, no, I'm too important, because if they can have time together because of the little God is doing, then I should be ready for bigger things to happen. So what they did opened my eyes to see what God was doing. I never knew what God was doing. But when they gathered, I saw the kind of women of dignity that gathered because of me. I realized, no, I am scaring them. And they want to do everything to frustrate me. So what they did rather helped me to open myself to do more. They never did anything to stop me. No, so I bless God for their lives. Some people needs to be in your life. We should not rather curse them. No, I bless those people. I bless them because they are living to see the testimony of God. And most of them, they've shut their mouth up because God shut them up. So I'm not waiting for anybody to die. I tell God to prepare a table in the presence. They need to be alive to see that what they thought couldn't happen has happened. And now it's not them, but it's God. This is when the Bible become a reality, that it will not be the doing of any man. It will be him doing it. So anything that happens, me, I love them. But my Sandra is here. So you see my Sandra with the issues, and there's something I wanted to say a little about Obia Wakache. They say in the life I share with bebre. It's maybe no one worry with our experience, you know, just give a little about it. Good evening.
Mami nyamenya okese. Isa na na o kan no. Isa me sha se me kan me story no. Em se me ko share bi wo okay FM.
Yeah.
So okay FM de no ko akire pa. Enti me wo ho ana we afre me. O se me hu wo YouTube, me hu wo Facebook. Ensam a wo ka de eni enyaneo. Ensam ye so ayi dodo. Debi waka kakra ye twa so. Even me now for another those time me no was sa life ni mo no. Enkofu frɛ me sa dan yen nyina ewiase obie ni wa onye di bɔne ani. Ewiase obie aye bɔne. Na wa aye bɔne wan ko jeni pɛ mu anka no nkyerɛ sɛ nyame fa nkyɛ wa na sɛ wu a wunya heaven kɔ. Eti nyame ye na enye kura mi njae. Eye ni mu ase papa. Why oba ben no was as so say be man ne na ada. Na be man me ada kakra. Ni makogina bonten ka. Osofo maami bi kura na oni me.
How kwa ne hear me no.
Osofo maami bi oni me atama na me ne me man papa wo no. Na ntokwa we yentem. Nti obi na e connect me man say me nko ne nchen. Na one me like or be cancel me. Na that time no so baby sorry be ameko bia obi aka chem say sofo ne ka chem say be ma no nye me kunu me fiefo na connect no na ka me kunu kura ye kama but we no me fiefo na connect di see me shira kwan ti me hu say me ma no ye soronko dan be ma na na nti wonye me kunu ti me force a ye bet na oponfa diamond hye me nsa ebegu cause in free nyame nti me call no so ho no ka chem say be ma ne nyemi kunu no eti okọ waiting ewo cropon side nti no me pa me mo am ho ne yenko nti me kra ankwala ne papa se okay no nim sofo ba no nso na me se me ne ekọ waiting aba kwase emfa me ho be kwa akọ sa ata na me kra me second born ne keto na onim no fuo na me fa penini so kana penini wo be se 3 years na me fa penini kan ye koye eti ye kodu ye no ono sofo ba ne so ono okwa wonko hu sofo no ono koye ne waiting eti se mpese mi ko hu na metimi akwa ko hu eti na eye cancel day na me koye eti me koye me tana papa nanim no se menye dem ma ho na me sha ase no ka chem se he me ma wonko biom tena ha me ma wo dan na watena ne ma hwe wo bible mu ba bia nu aya kyero se be ma anya wo ho ade a wo ne ntena nyame achi wade nti me kampo wa hye ha se be ma ne pe wa oba ba hwehwe no do akọ hu wabusiafo no waye wo ho ade na be ma ne kro wonye wuku enti wono ma me ni poja me ho baaye enti na me wo kampo wa na bi di fi ho ba akra ha no enti ebi wa me preach wa market a wo betwam ohu me no obo ma basoa no okọ enti okọ hu mi we no na ono so won frɛ me me kwa me so da so wo me number nti me hu number me say number yi de ti me pick ya na ya anajo I think me ba show ha na me ko fie nti me pick na obo ni di still na di na ayira me kakra e no say we wo maame yi na me say okay ma aden na offer me ndey e no say o nya hwe na anwumre ya na me na Facebook me na YouTube me de YouTube me ntan ko agi se bia prompt me say me nko kwa na ya me ko hwe 1 or 2 ten mamba ti anwumre ya na bibia me say me nko ya o video na da ya Sandra wo kasa o kasa pa Sandra no e na me sere ye na me say mami e ba bia nya me di nipa akofa no na nya me adon se de bia nsem no mo preach Bible mo de nko a e na oba adwamanfo no ko stone no e na nya me je no e na nya me se konko ye biem e na oba adwamanfo no ko sugu nya me na so no di timi pepa he but nia esi physical wo yenso ya bra bom no enye Bible side esi ye kan na wo wo ha wo because me tama na me wo saa nya mani no so obi ye Kristo ni kura no ne me be ye friends a wo so no obi aba we na wafa na danfo get away obeji wukuno get away any sister mu oden pa mama wata bay get you onye papa ni na mo ewi ha iti na enkofu Kristo fu iti me iti no me so na menye ma adwen se mekọ baby a Kristo fu a na me wura sorry dem because senia na omo ye na me wu se senia mete bia ne tene me mfata nyame emi se senia mete no me ben nyame kora nya de obetie me nti ehu hia se me ben nyame emi se omo asiesie ho kama omo kwa asora kata omo no omo fata nyame but senia me ma ye no me nya sure se me nka nyame ma me life ni me bibia kwase bonsam ba eti me gie no tu mu o mabra bom eti na always na me o makoma mu nyim se ada mewu no heaven me nwura ho eti na meta ka che me na afọ je me de me nyim se me wu nne meko hell because enyama amaye no onyame ba onyame hu nti nya sure se nyame ma kwa ma wa yesa ti nyama amaye hu se bonsam eba ne betimi ayesa nti me wu kura na se onyame efrem ogeti na no se memra no nje ka se papa pe ba bi tina na me am ni position dada me am pa akunyam kwotena ho ti me ka sa na me na anfo osere ko na me na wo nyina me se da me wu se pe ni ko jam eti na me pese me ben wo mu eti saa na obi wo a wo te se me ebia ne de ni kwa beyond more than me de na makomo no wono se onim se ne lifetime wo wura sorry dem a because na me feri nyame na me enye nipa na me feri na me tim ne makoma mu no me feri nya na me se nsuro no ena me se efi me hu ye nyane na se ne me te no me ti me no ena niama ye ni ti no niame de ma no onne me nipadua ye ni niama me de ko niama ma sense no ewu hia se me bo onu nyame di ko mu se na nyame din na hotefo na ebo enya ya ye santina manu ye me do say din Jesus me boti na me kwanda me mompai for years me na ma bompai da me sorry am bompai da ena me mobile phone so wo baso a me ni nyame ndom bia ho say even though me chim radio na radio no bo don juma na koda ba bia ebo nyame nyuma na ma ye fi wo ko me say me ni nyame ni twaka eti saa na me ka cha maame ne say saa na obi wo wia so wote say me to say me twa nyame say wura sori ha me hu daddy picture say wura mu na wura mu a aha na meje wo me di wura mu ampa wo no nyame age me ti saa na me hu say obi so wo mu a kokko wo gu geta say ya those time no Sundays me ti meko preach kokko Madina ye wo get bi won ebinum obu okra wanya 60 years obu wanya 70 years we wa shasa get ho ade anyi e hono wa wo ne manyina waya drugs saa ma wa sei waya basa me ko gina se me preach obu nyina pie fi get ho e sarando me e bi krati me ba oba nyina wa ya mre no discover to me some me ko do asesi a omu nyina pie ba betiem enti ano mo bu market ho no na nipa ben na ye cause enkofu we asofo eba du mo di wo mo na asofo krant mi nyina ha ya wa sa nko abeja mo nyina pie enti saa no du wo mu a oni me se nyame ya reject no oni me so nka nipa cause wo ko preach o me say o maame ya sambra wate wo mo ma enche yu asofo ne mind o ma reject obi say yenso yenka nyame ma ho enti no saa no obi wo mo office but say me come story a no wo because me nka ma nyame nka say me meka mo a wo ye jani wa dwa ko Bible say ni wadwale no o hia dware mprim na ni oni madware no ana ni wadware ni hu fi ye no no hia se ye dware no eti anya wo wa matured no ene nyame say me meka nkyerɛ wa what say me nua no a wo mo so wo saa ne tibia ni o mo na nyame pese meka anje kura na ebe timi agini petu ana nyipa 3 bi ebe ta che say eh ni age we ya komuni me so me relate to ne dia no ene me so me hwe nyame akiri kwan enti me ka che say dabi di asem na oka no di asem na aka ne he wo story tantan timi se sani pada eh enya no na se sani pa
of mama
me na me ka che enya no eye quotation na oba me hia wona wada ewia so do bia ne be ma ada obi anu abe ma ne naaye obi anu be ma wakọ yinsan obi aso yinsan to kwotena aka se yinsan ene wakọ adu obi aso kwa aduro so ye wankofo kura wom omo aben mo omo ye nuo kum nipa share blood soke blood ni ade asa na wa sheli coat akwotena adwuma mu enti kwotena se why we ya enu ntimi nsisa obi quotation ka ho eti quotation na pim nipa uko gina wa quotation
yenka mi ha
yo we bia quotation no bia na wakwa ha e bia say ko revelation say ho nsam no na nipa no koda
eti yen preach bible nkwa wa bra bo mu nsam
ya eti o nipa ne koda anasa wo sore so okukumu bia o tie sa quotation na ba na pem no ba me story dey enti me nya hwe e ma wo bia ti sa story ndie me nya ika na mo man hwe ya me hwe ye pa na me nya ye nya sa pa sorry na me kan e deep enya sa me ti me ewu eja me ma no me nkwa so be se
so mame
you eti ono so sa so ba no so no ohun ade o professor e bam eti efe na ehun abo me
ka oba ehun abo
na ehun abo me promise na urade ni ami ye papa na urade o ma me ye he because madam for ba ko for so the same thing no ono so ka kire me sai me se me ne me ma da wo no ne me ma da oni me ma da but o gina o because oba bia no no obeka se be ma emfa na da won ware no oba bia be ma afa no oba bia yin se no kura de no ma asofo ma mefu kura yi eti se ma sachira enya na me ko kan de kire se be ma ma ko heaven e na man kan enya na be ma sachira wo within me ne de ye e se be keep because asam na me kan sachira obi nne en sachira obi ochina me ma sebe ono kwa wanka se wakodi wo kwoti a akasi a eti eno na ema obi okodi ni de nya idi ana chefe me se na urade ade a me kai wa na wa hye 2018 mu na ma me kwan se be bia me gina bia no me mo sa de ho because ani ti da wo de je me na omo tera emfa oni nipa ne wa so obetimi adwane ato wa urade nko a wo be dwan na ye enti no asamo na se du ba bi na wa urade enya adwuma eni e ka kire me chefe ni ma confused ma basa eti se me kokrom ko preach ana me nam na nkofu wu me eye wo a na me se da bi anya me eye me ahuni mo se no wona na oni la awon kwaso betre wan hwa spirit bi be bow wan hwa huhun bi be twa wa hwe wan hwa ye wo se wa gina wo ho wo se wa gina na wako gina na akeka sanse mu nyina yo wo nyina nyama bebre wo ho se wo krakra se na akọ kachiro bi so nsachira wo nyina ye ne nsensem ti no na me eya me sensem no enye nsem eya yi ti obi hu me kwa na so onyimia me kachira ni se wo nyimia enya mia se nipa di nipa se ba cha enya mia enti se na sister na ka no mami na me ka se ye wo obi wo ho a obi ne tu ne fo she na so nsachira na odi amemefre na wasachira eni ye wo obi won so oni nyame na enya encounter na nkasa because me wo hwe me sachira mu na se nye nyame pa na tache mi aka me ko wiase ache eni ti na so obi ne me ya de no use word se me ko back eye sa word no won e hye me se word bia wo betimi aka bibia ache ba sa word no ko se wo ba ne me ana wo nua ne me ana ba bia me firi no se wako mu bi da ka wo wehye da se wo de hwe wo besia akọ back how woni nyama kom baby am free ade tantan say because enye nyame na me nya account na enye me bia na metete ni ebi so ma bodam we wa bodam edam na wa bo o pretend wo be call back wo pa yam ma shed date wo pa hwe se hu ne back a wobekọ back ne nsam a metete ni nyamanyama no se nye nyame pa na me nyame ne touch me pa oh ka mekọ back because ewiase na me wo no na obi aha me wo ho ewiase na me wo no video point bi a me na me first ka anya hwe me ni abrempon na ehia me ni soje te wo se obi de me call off me ko di obi ko obi de me call off a okoto yale e ma me a enka o kume na nyame tem wani se wan ko pe ba bi anfa wan ko hinta wo be wusa akoko na me de mirika me na ma me de be pia asore ha enkire se na bibi na ta me so ana mpese me satira enti no sanka nyame adom a ka mesin akọ ko se me hwe okoma na abede me toilet so ana me dani e mwatete se be toilet kura demia me pe baabi kura de rubber se na se be me jame na ma hwehwe baabi di akoto na minya na minya eti se nyame ne tache me because de bia me ka se wo mami me satira ye wo ne daddy me mu bi nkyere me ntena se mami endeti mami faniketi mami nyewe but enam onu awurade adom ne pe na memre hwe onyame mre soma wa na aso se onyame mre so a o se de jawo de konama no a protect for ne purpose na mre so na ojewa obi enu obetimi ajewa fininsa because obi a na ka me ne be mimi timi ntina me ne be ma na o mimi period de ba me ko fa make ko fa guinness na mafra mako pharmacy mi waduro bi ameto na manom na me di Guinness na wash me under na ate na close me ase because o ye period ase be wase bie enti se be ma no da o enjoy because e ho nye enti me de sanya ma ne fra na close ho me ti me ne be ma akọ na one me adawe kran so me e se me de me say so seven me 3 story me twetwe so me nufu ano twetwe ya me ho sta ya kopin se be ma no ho be so be sa na me abeda na se onyankopon ti me so stay ni me abepem by this time with that bema kura ho no me konwa hey wo we shimi say me go back and try kura na nya adwuma because obi a mami o wa asori ti asori kura market to nyom na so o fi wa akofaniketi ha no but me minti me fa ma benya minti me da say me ne bema ba koda na ma san betina so de market minti ni cause abra na me was adim na me nko asori me pese me nyame benya encounter but obi wo nyame mu a wono so okoba o ye ne so ejani but o twempna even altar ho kro ni obi da o nsuro
and they are so for twempna
o nsuro
there are men of God that are sleeping around, there are men of God that preach that you see one thing about working with people, we need to learn every man or woman of God has got their own anointing. Me, if you are working with me, I'm not the type that will sit you there and tell you and you say you won't even do it. My way of what teaching people things is anytime you hear me preach, I'm talking to you. You don't expect me to sit you down alone. No, I don't have the time for that. But the moment you are with me, anything you hear me preach, the word that is coming is for me and is for you. So and most of the people when they are working with me, before you see them going, it means they've messed up. You can't work with me whilst you're like this. You sleep around. Since I called her, because she has been in the church for years, I never called her. Because I don't want you. I don't need anybody to follow me. Because when you have people following you, they become baggages. Instead of them to push to go, they are following because of their interest, what they will get. No, me, I don't serve God like that. I told one of my singers, Julia, I said, you know what? If you are following me and you're looking for money, and you're looking for payment, you won't get, because me, nobody pays me. Me, as I said here, I don't even know how I make it. If I was thinking about this, I think 3 days ago, I was asking myself, me, Bo, how do I do things? Because I have nobody in this world that says that when it's monthly, get this. No. It's by grace and the people that are touched by your word of God, and they will say, get this. I don't do any other work. When I do my sobol and all that, if you buy it, you buy it. I do sell it at the church. That's it. How much is it? When I finish selling the sobolo, I share it to people there. And it's gone. And I still go back home, buy the things for sobolo and do it again. I don't do anything. All I do is the work of God. Somebody called me today, say, "Woman of God, I want to have a program with you." When they finish, they say, "Mommy," I say, "Yes, what is it?" About the money issue. I said, "Which money? How much will you charge?" I said, "Me. Ask anybody in this world that has called me to their church. I don't charge anybody anything. I come to bless and I'm gone. When I leave, he blesses me." You know, when we were going to Agogo, the lady before he came to Ghana, he was WhatsApping me. "My team want to know how much you charge. We rented hotels." And I said, "Me, charge. I'm coming to sow myself there. It is my year to also sow to people. I'm going to sow. So I'm not coming because I'm coming to sow to the women." So when she said charge, I said, "Oh, forget about charging. Forget about renting a hotel. About my fare. Forget about anything. I'm coming." She was surprised. So she called me when she got to Ghana. "Please, we've rented a hotel for 2 days. How many people are you coming?" I said, "Don't rent anything for me. I don't want anything." So when we got there and we're going, he said, "No, Mommy." I said, "No, wait, come. This is my seed for you, for the women. It's not for you. Give it to them. That is our share of what we can do." The husband called me back. He said, they were asking me. I said, "I didn't come here to church. I came to sow. I came with my people to also tap into it." And how we do it, me, as I sit here, if I can tell you, Valentina, or this girl, that I have a job that I'm doing, I have a shop. They've closed. The woman have taken the shop because I couldn't pay. So they packed all my things here. I don't care. I rented a shop where I sell things there. It's closed down because I couldn't pay. I don't really care. All I care was doing the work of God. You see me there. So today I was thinking, I asked myself, for 3 days I've been thinking, I said, "God, how am I able to even this place do studio work, live, do my ministry work? I've got nobody. The only one I have is this God. My faith in Him. I don't know how it happens every day, and I'm not the type that asks my husband, "Give me this." Never. I don't ask anything. Before I say I'll do something, he knows. Before he knows I've done it, I don't ask anything. "Oh, my husband, support me with this money." I have never ever done it in my ministry. Never. If I'm going somewhere, sometimes I go and fill my phone and go. I have come to a level where He picked me from the dungeon, and He was able to lead me one by one with nobody's help. I don't know how He did it. So up to now, I don't even have the time to think how He will do it. So anytime anybody's working, I tell the person, "Don't work with me thinking about money. Think about God. Desire Him more. Try to know Him more. You see, there is something that is more than money. More than. Sometimes we are so much in need. So much we need the money. But I tell God, I need this, but please, don't let it be a burden unto me. Change my mind and my heart. Remove that burden out and let me increase in loving you." That's all I can. Sometimes I come, but I feel something is drawing me back. "You need this. Get it. Where will you get it from?" And I said, "Devil, don't try to confuse me. I need to tap into God." So if you're working with me and you're going to be like, "Money," me, I watch people from afar. I can watch 1 or 2 attitude and I'll cancel you out of my life, and that's the end. Because I don't want anything that will distract me. I want something that pushes me. If you are not praying, you're reading the word of God, your life needs to be God and Him alone, because there are other things that surround us that attract us to move from God. People are in God, but they are not in God. They behave as if tonight, I don't know, but I feel too much in my spirit that school is good, money is good, opportunities and everything is good, but I need nothing of all those things. All I want is Him. If I have God, I have everything I need, because He is a package of His own. God is a package. So I'm not looking at the other package the devil is giving to me. If I take God, all the package are included. So why don't you desire Him? Why don't you know Him? This night, I want to tell you this. Sandra is being blessed. Valentina is a blessing. My crew are here. I don't have time to talk about anything about money, because nobody brings any money where. But it's been grace. Then as you are there, somebody will call you, "Mommy, I sent something small for credit. Mommy, I sent something small for this," and that's it. And that's it. So sometimes you are there, before you pick your phone, somebody has been a blessing. I said, "Wow, God, you good. And then when the person sends it, there are other people on the line waiting for me to also send the money. So the moment the money comes, I say, hey, we are blessed. I send it, hey, the money has come, you to take your own. Let me also be a blessing. You see, this life, I want you, if you are listening to me, listen to me. That I'm a testimony. Sandra here. Now she doesn't even care where she gets her money from. I don't know how she feels, but I don't also care about it. Hey, my daughter has sowed a seed. Adios, kaya daba yaba. This seed you are sowing, it will be your financial breakthrough for you. From today, you will experience serious financial breakthrough, and it will be a lifting in your ministry. People will show into your life and begin to be a lifting in your life. Valentina, let me tell you this: years to come, you will beg people to go with their blessings. You will not even take them again because it will be too much for you to carry. For this you've done on live show, may this seed be a testimony to others that years to come they remember this was life, and they saw God turning your life around. You cannot sow and go the same. As you are tapped into it spiritually, I also speak publicly for the world to hear. This one, the devil can't stop it. Your financial key has been released today, and from today people will be a blessing to you. It's been a blessing. This ministry has been a blessing. And anyone that God touches your heart and you bless the real woman in me, I'm telling you, it will never be in vain. To your generation, it will be a blessing. You see, there are people that have sponsors, but we don't have. Our sponsor has been the Holy Spirit and you. And I bless God for your life. This girl, Valentina, you'll go far. Market is life. You will go far. And my daughter Sandra too is in spiritual level. They are moving on a hey, you will meet them later. This is my seed. It is mine. So let me put it in my bag. God bless you. We'll meet again Thursday. This program is for spiritual people. Somebody who want to know God, who want to get close to God. You might not have the way. You can't leave the same. There's a power in this house. Too much power here, too much power. You cannot sow and go the same because it is God and it is Him alone. There are other places that they are okay and they don't care about God. But me, all I care about is you, knowing God, knowing Him for yourself, having the encounter with Him, a connection with Him. I want to lead you with the Spirit of God. I want to lead you being touched, being healed, being turned around. I see doors being opened, testimonies are coming, breakthroughs are coming. Anybody that will tap into it, sow into it. This evening, this girl has opened the spiritual realm. And the Bible said, if you bless a prophet, a cup of water, I'm telling you, you receive a prophet's blessing. And therefore speak prophetically that as she has sown tonight, anybody that the Lord will touch your heart to also sow into the real woman in me ministry, you will see the hand of God. It will not be man, but it will be God. I speak and I prophesy into the atmosphere. Your abuse, your affliction is going to turn around to be a testimony to others. Your life is going to be on the speed. The Lord told her she will be like the light, a speed of the light. Now is the time the Lord is going to start with her. In this pandemic, she will be called into different towns. In this pandemic, people will call her just to hear her voice, and they will sow and bless her. As you also do it, may God take away every illness out of your home, every shame. This pandemic will never get close to you and your family. You are protected and covered in the name of Jesus. Give your life to Jesus. Give it all to Him. My name is Reverend Mrs. Charlotte Adu. My number is 055-2369-403. 055-2369-403. 055-2369-403. My girls here are on fire, I tell you. Too much fire. My Juliet is here firing. My Sandra is here firing. I'm telling you, they are on a journey where God will be the lifter up of our head. God bless you. Have a beautiful night. I thank God for my crew. Alex and his people, they were telling me, yes, mommy, it's time. Don't tell me it's time again. We'll move as the Lord directs us. Thank you so much, my crew. You want any media work, photography, you want studio music, just get to Rock Media on social media or Rock Media. Get it? You want lighting, just call me. You want a land or a house, it's Monty Engineering, just call them. You'll be a blessing. I thank God. You know, this band, this one, I have my wrapper on my head, is done by Valentina. She's good with this hand things. She creates things with her hands. So the thing she's wearing, the band she's wearing, is for her. Today too, she came with this one too from you. Wow. She does this. Wow. This what she does. And these things, she does them. She's there. She'll be creating things with her hands. So she didn't come empty. She brought me this. It's beautiful. 2 different ties for me. Yes. Let me slay in it. This is beautiful. So this is mine. If you need one, just let me know. I'll let Valentina do it for you. If you have a picture of anything you want, just send it to me. I'll give it to her. She will do it beautifully for you, for weddings, for funerals. Oh Jesus! Because Thursday I'm going for a funeral. One of my men of God's son is there, so this came in time. There's a blessing. This girl loved to sew. When she came to the minister's wife, I was ministering. She just removed her shoes, her bags. She dropped it at the altar. Said she walked home without shoes. The day we're doing minister's wife ministry, I was just ministering. She ran from where she was sitting, dropped her shoes, dropped her bags, and she walked home without shoes. That's what she can do. Once she came again on the 25th all night, she came. We're doing ministration. She just brought her purse, dropped it at the altar, and she left. She loves to sew. She doesn't care whatever happens. Do you think God will not bless her? So I have my own. If you need this, just let me know. All right. Have a beautiful night. Good night. Bye. This is beautiful. Hey, Thursday.